Wait, I'll start.
Look at the headline here. Hi guys, welcome back.
Welcome back. That was a very enthusiastic wave. Hi.
Looks like is that a Queen's wave?
Queen's wave is like this.
Oh yeah, that's right, yeah.
This is just a maniac's wave.
Anyway, there's enthusiasm as there should be.
Yes.
It's another mukbang eating show video.
Yes. Go
So-
and grab yourself a meal.
Exactly.
First up, make
Yeah.
sure you're eating with us.
Definitely make it vegan.
Yes.
It's the least we can do. Bit early for that.
It is.
All
All
right.
right, let's get on with it. What are we eating today?
Well, what have you prepared for us, Master Chef Natasha?
AKA, I don't know what was on my plate.
No, I do.
We have a mix of vegetables. I've got some okra, eggplant, red bell pepper or capsicum,
Green beans.
green beans and red onion cooked up with some green or brown lentils.
They're green.
They're green,
Yeah.
thank you. Some tofu,
Yes.
and that's in a tomato puree sauce.
Yep. AKA passata, if you're
Yes.
Italian.
With some garlic powder, herb powder,
Mustard.
mustard, curry powder. I think that's it.
Pretty good. Oh, and then we've got a dressing.
And then we have some tahini on the side. And the reason why we have that was because sometimes we do this dish with the tomato puree and sometimes we do it with the tahini. We couldn't decide between them, so we're like, put them together, we're going to have both. And we've done this before and it was
You sounded
beautiful.
like Dr. Gregor when he says, put it to the test.
Yeah, did.
Put it together.
Put it together.
Yeah, so the tahini dressing is tahini, soy sauce, lime juice, cayenne pepper, and a vegan sweetener. We've got
Yes,
agave
agave.
syrup, but you could use maple syrup or another vegan sweetener.
Yeah, this is getting heavy. Hurry up.
All right.
I've got quinoa.
And I've got brown rice. It looks white, but it's
Got it.
actually brown.
I can see that falling on the
Yeah.
computer. Please
Ordinarily,
put it
this would go in a doggy bowl. If you're familiar with our Snapchat and
Get
Instagram
over the
stories,
doggy
no,
bowl.
the doggy bowl is great.
I know,
This is just
but-
for presentation purposes for
Yes,
a mukbang video.
that's right.
But it's
So
very
is-
impractical.
down. The lime is for presentation purposes as well. I'm going to put that aside.
That was for the Instagram
photo.
Yeah, exactly. If you're not following us on Instagram, do so.
Yes.
Post all our a lot of meals there. Not all,
Yeah,
a lot of meals.
a lot of meals.
All our meals on Snapchat.
Yes.
All right, I'm adding my tahini on top.
Yep. I love the smell of tahini.
Yes, absolutely. What are you guys eating? Let us know in the comments below. Share your delicious food with everybody. Encouraging other people to try vegan meals. Giving existing vegans new ideas for vegan meals.
Lovely. I really like the smell.
Good, you happy with it?
Yep. No surprises. We've cooked it many times before.
It's a nice hearty mix, isn't it?
Oh yeah. That's lovely.
I'm gonna get me some.
Quinoa can be messy to eat on camera. It's good, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's very good. I'm not eating quinoa and I've already spilled some. Very, very good.
Yummo.
Alright,
All right.
so several topics, as per usual, have come across the TVC news desk in the
Yes.
past week. We're going to try to tackle 4. We'll see how
See
we
how
go
we
for
go.
time. There was way more. There was probably like 7 or 8.
Not there's so much, but
Alright, always so much. So, first, cab off the rank. Let me open up the laptop.
what do you got there in your secret files, Luca?
If I told you, I'd have to kill you. Alright. So last week's mukbang, we discussed a BBC Sports article on Lewis Hamilton. You know, I think it was entitled something like, could a vegan diet hamper his racing edge?
And in case you missed it, Lewis Hamilton is
3-time Formula One world champion. So we discussed in that mukbang video how ridiculous that article was. Typical anti-vegan, beer-mongering article.
And we said that the only thing that may hamper his racing edge as a vegan was the extra fibre and possibly the extra pit stops that he might need to take for a lube break.
Exactly.
That was my best suggestion anyway.
No, it was,
As it turns out,
as it turns out, 8 days later after that article was published, Lewis Hamilton made the article we discussed look even more ridiculous when he won pole position for the Japanese Grand Prix.
Yes, good
saying,
man.
yes, that he's driving better than ever in qualifying. And then a day later, Lewis Hamilton really stuck it up him, as we like to say in Australia, and made the BBC eat humble vegan pie when he won the Japanese Grand Prix.
There you
and
go.
further extended his lead in the Drivers' Championship.
Round of applause for Lewis Hamilton.
Well done, Lewis
Yay!
Hamilton. Show him how it's done.
Exactly. Good on you. Oh, I mean, that's like just the best response to those kind of articles you could imagine or hope for, isn't it? Best case scenario, he won. There you go. So there.
Talk about silencing the critics,
Exactly.
the naysayers, the knockers.
All right, next story.
Got a lot of requests for this next story.
A lot. This is
A lot
quite
have
big
come through
news.
in the last 24, 48, 72 hours.
Yeah, I'm putting my fork down. Okay, big news. Italian fashion house Gucci to go fur-free in 2018.
Finalmente! Finally in Italian.
Thank you, Luca. That's big news, isn't it? I mean, Gucci are huge, right? And they kind of help set a benchmark. Like, you know, oh, if Gucci's doing it, then, you know, it must be
Other labels
okay.
might follow suit.
Yeah, it must be okay to not have fur in your collection and to go with faux fur or whatever they're going to do.
Of course it is.
Yeah, I mean, of course it is. I'm just saying, like, you know.
I know. Yeah.
Not me, them.
No, but it's like, duh.
Yeah.
It looks the same.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, but it's amazing, isn't it? Like that, we live in 2017. This is going to happen in 2018, and we're still talking about, oh, they're going to go for. You dropped it on.
I did.
carpet?
No.
On your legs.
Yeah.
All right. The fact that fur
It's
still
my
exists.
leg. I had a shower. It's a grain and rice. Don't freak out.
Shush. It's my leg. The fact that we're still talking about fur being used in 2017. I mean, are you serious? Like, the fact that animals are still used at all, right? Full stop. But fur, it's so awful. It's a horrific industry. They all are. I mean, anyway. Gucci's president said, the move demonstrated our absolute commitment to making sustainability an intrinsic part of our business. What does that actually mean?
Yeah, it's one of sustainability is a buzzword that's thrown around recklessly in an ad hoc.
Well, this is the thing. I think they use the word sustainability when they don't have another word to use, because sustainability is kind of like a safety word, and I'll explain this in a moment.
Yeah,
but
a bit like going green.
Yeah,
it's like an umbrella, feel good.
It's very
nice,
broad,
abstract concept. Isn't
they can't say that they're going. You know, cruelty-free or ethical, or make any inference to that, because they're still using animal products.
That's right.
So the only thing
such as leather and other animal products.
The only thing they can sort of throw out there as something that might appease those that actually care is to say sustainable. Anyway, it's very, very good news. Now, what they're going to do is they're going to auction off the remaining fur items, and they're going to donate those proceeds to organisations like the Humane Society International and LAV. I haven't looked that up. Do you know who LAV is? I don't know.
I'm not sure.
So that's good. Yeah, the Humane Society have said, you know, Gucci going fur-free is a huge game changer. And it is. It is very, very good.
Yeah.
It's very good. So Gucci will become part of the Fur-Free Alliance, an international group of more than 40 organisations which campaigns on animal welfare and promotes alternatives to fur in the fashion industry. So it's just good to have a really big name. As you said, it's going to set a bit of a precedent. So that's all
It's like
fantastic.
McDonald's introducing a vegan burger, isn't it? In a similar way.
Kind of just starts to set the benchmark, like this is no longer okay. So I was very pleased with that news, and I've seen it on various other websites.
Yeah.
However, at the end of this article, when I was reading this, down the bottom they have you know, other articles that are related to this story. And of course I had to click on it. So
look at the headline here. Gucci owner gets teeth into snakeskin market with python farm. I mean, they've got a play on words there, yeah? It's a python, snake bite, so the owner's getting the teeth into. It's disgusting.
Basically, This is an article from earlier this year. I think it was from January or February this year.
Sorry, the headline reminds me of that Breaking News article that we reviewed recently. You know what I mean? It's in that
completely
same vein.
insensitive and just kind of like mocking and downplaying that this is actually someone's life that we're talking about.
That's my point. Thank you.
So earlier this year, this article came out, and this is where I'm very frustrated because yes, Gucci's doing something wonderful today, but what they've announced earlier this year and what's going to happen next year, it involves taking the skin of another animal. So, they don't have any ethics. They're just, I think the pressure, the push to not use fur is so great that they've buckled to that, but they don't actually care because they're still using snake skin and other animal skin.
That's right.
So basically,
they've conformed based on public pressure, not based on a change in their morals or ethics. Because what it is there aren't as many people campaigning that snake skin and crocodile skin and what have you is cruel as there have been over the decades that fur is cruel. When in actual fact they're equally cruel. You're just ripping the skin or hair off a different species of animal.
Exactly. So what they're trying to do is find sustainable sources of snake skin. And there was an illegal trade going on.
There's that word again, sustainable.
Sustainable, right? And what that means is they're trying to find a source of snake skin that is ongoing and can meet the demand and won't affect the population of that species of snake. So, we don't want to kill them off by taking them all from the wild.
But we'll still kill them.
Yes, so what they're doing is they've, Gucci and many other very famous brands have basically built a python farm in Thailand where they're breeding these snakes specifically for these fashion brands. And that's how they're going to meet public demand. It's absolutely horrific, and it says that producing adult skins in 2018 with provisions of a significant number expected by 2020. So
I was just reading there, sorry. The project comes amid growing pressure from campaigners over the use of exotic animal skins for fashion. So that has to, presumably that campaign has to grow to the extent that the anti-fur campaign movement has over the course of decades before Gucci will take any action in regards to it's like such a slow process for these poor animals who
it's incredible. It's basically a factory farm of pythons.
Of course it is,
growing them really big, and then we're going to rip the skin off them to make some shoes and handbags.
And I was thinking the snakes are going to cop it, aren't they, in the sense that we've been taught to fear snakes, which is, it's funny, there are very few poisonous species of snakes that can actually afflict a fatal bite to humans, right? The rest, by far and wide,
they don't want
harmless.
Anything to do with
and
us.
if you've ever passed one in the wild, for example, maybe on a nature hike or whatever, think of how much bigger you are, and they scuttle away immediately because your vibration that you make as you walk on the ground, they realise that's a large thing. I'm getting out of here. So they're more scared of us on average than we are of them, and yet we've demonised them so much over the years that it's going to take a long time for people to find it in their hearts to be empathetic towards snakes.
Exactly. Yeah, I think with fur, it's a cute furry animal that we can kind of go, oh, poor thing, but with a snake it's like, oh.
Same thing about crocodiles. They're predators, they're man-eaters.
So this article says this is a long-term commitment to developing sustainable and responsible sourcing of python skins. It takes time to ensure this is done to the highest standards. The farm was intended to secure the supply of skins and show how farming could be done sustainably and humanely.
Can we rip the skin off a human being humanely? And if not, how can we rip the skin off another species humanely? It's
just because you're
oxymoronic, isn't it? It's like humane slaughter.
Exactly what
oxymoronic.
And just because you're mass farming these animals to rip their skin off, that doesn't make it sustainable. That
it makes it cheaper for you.
It's awful.
That's about it, isn't it?
It's a factory farm of snake skin. Now, this bit here, this really sums it up. I actually love this part of the article because, like the expression, you give someone enough rope. This is exactly what's happened. We don't want to remove precious skins, and they have to put in brackets, from our products. Because you are removing precious skins from the animals, you idiots. They have to put in the clause, from our products.
Because they know what they're actually doing.
Yeah, you can't just leave the statement, we don't want to remove precious skins. Yes, you do. Yes, you are. You know, I read it and went,
Yeah.
you've just told everybody
Yeah.
that you are removing precious
Yeah.
skins.
They mean precious skins to their business and bottom line, and they mean sustainable in the sense of profits and their bottom line.
Yeah, so
that's
the rest
what
of
they
that
mean.
statement, we don't want to remove precious skins from our products, but we want to ensure that the skin doesn't destroy the species when they come from the wild, and if it comes from farming, that it has to be the best conditions for animals, farmers, and the ecosystem. So again, this is just like, as you were saying, you know, humane farming, or humane slaughter. There's no such thing. Best conditions for these animals before we rip their skin off. So, yeah, that's what Gucci's doing. Great that they've stopped fur. Disgusting that they have just invested in this huge, you know, python skin factory farm, basically, in Thailand. And yeah, just switching one animal and one skin for another. It's like one yay, one boo. You know, we take one step forward, two steps back, or two steps forward, one step back. I don't know how you want to look at it, but
the answer is just to agree that it's wrong to, you know, use animals of any species for any purpose, and so just live a vegan lifestyle and let them be. You know, that's the answer. But
of course it is. And what's driving this is consumer demand.
That's it. People's purchases dictate what these companies do.
So stop demanding it. If you're still wearing animal skins of any kind, stop doing it, because it is just creating demand and, you know, resulting in these horrific results of animals having their skin torn off them. It's awful.
If it wouldn't be good enough for your family dog or for your family cat, then, you know, it's not good enough for the snake you don't know, the crocodile you don't know, the animal that's used for fur that you don't know.
Again, if we put these fashion designers in these conditions and said, well, we're raising you in a really nice, sustainable, humane way, best farm we could find for you. Oh, you've grown to adult size, going to skin you now because another species wants to make a handbag out of you. Let's see how that goes down. It wouldn't. So that's Gucci.
Thank you, News Reporter Natasha. News Reporter Natasha.
What did you call me, News Porter?
News Porter. Yeah.
Okay, next story.
Next story. Tag team. So the Daily Mail online put out an article with a headline that reads,
Get ready for this. Just brace yourself. This is hilarious.
"Is it possible to catch diabetes? It sounds absurd, but that's what a reputable new study suggests. And it may be that other lifestyle diseases such as joint pain and even obesity are contagious too. Intriguingly, scientists are finding evidence that you may be able to catch lifestyle disorders as diabetes, Alzheimer's, and even joint pain." So,
have you ever heard anything so ridiculous? You're now catching diabetes. Now it's very technical, isn't it, this article? Like, they go into a bit of the science.
yeah.
Like, they say it's not the same as catching a common cold.
They
don't mean it like that, but it's still ridiculous.
Yeah, I've written here, you know, the headline says it all, as you said. The headline says, "It sounds absurd." Exactly, because that's what it is. And if we believe absurdities, well, we shall commit atrocities, as Voltaire said. Now, in our opinion, the intention of this article is to promote new flaky science to create doubt about the actual scientifically proven cause of type 2 diabetes, which is intramyocellular lipid. That is the build-up of saturated fat, which is mainly found in animal products, inside the muscle cells. So that people who are still ignorant to this scientifically proven cause of type 2 diabetes can say, well, I read this news article online that spoke about this new study that said you could catch type 2 diabetes. So I might as well eat whatever I want, as much saturated fat as I want, because if I get type 2 diabetes, there's no real way of knowing whether I developed it from my food choices or whether I was just got unlucky and I caught it.
Exactly.
You know?
It takes responsibility out of everybody's hands. Oh, well, there's nothing you can do. It's kind of like, oh, what runs in my family? Heart disease runs in my family.
Which is actually what they talk about in the article. Yeah.
Yeah, so you might as well just eat whatever the hell you want because, you know, it's just genetics though. It's just, you know, just...
Yeah, in fact, we're going to get on to it runs in my family when they try to make out that obesity could be an airborne transmitted disease. Yeah, just wait for that.
How come we haven't caught it?
We're going to get to that. Brace yourself.
Okay.
So anyway, before we get to obesity, talk about Alzheimer's for a moment. Now, Alzheimer's disease is incurable. However, it is preventable. And the top 2 dietary recommendations for the prevention of Alzheimer's disease are to minimize intake of saturated fat, once again, like the type 2 diabetes, and also trans fats, both of which are found mainly in animal products and junk food, and replace meat, dairy and eggs with, let's guess, whole plant foods. But again, if you give people this out that, oh, it might not be the food, I could catch it, so then I might as well eat what I want, then what do you think people are going to do? They always take the path of least resistance. No one wants to change. Change is difficult, or people perceive change to be difficult. So it's just so frustrating. Again, absolving them of the responsibility. Yeah.
And it's also very disempowering. Like we always say, you know, once you've got the information,
knowledge is power,
and you take control of your diet and your lifestyle, you've got control of your life. The thing that kills more people on the planet than anything else, heart disease and all these other diseases like
type 2 diabetes, some forms of cancer.
You know, they're things that just plague the planet and so many people. You've got more control over that. You know, it's not a guarantee that that all vegans will not develop any of these diseases, not by a long shot.
But the risk of doing so much lower.
You know, so it's very empowering to know that. And anyway, go on. Please proceed.
Obesity. So, airborne obesity microbes could now be a reason why obesity runs in families.
Well, like, it gets circulated through the air conditioner or something.
Yeah, or... So, our question is, if the obese members of this typical Australian family eating meat, dairy, eggs and processed foods are obese because they're inhaling airborne obesity microbes, does that also mean that the healthy weight members of this typical rural Ecuadorian family eating a mainly plant-based diet have healthy weights because they're inhaling airborne healthy weight microbes? Give us a break.
Or is it the food?
There's a reason why the tagline of obesity expert of over 30 years, Dr. John McDougall, is, it's the food. It's as simple as that. It's the food.
Eat some of it.
Yes, thank you. Just
what kind of
frustrating and infuriating.
What comes up with this?
It's very
crap?
reckless.
Seriously.
And it's endangering people's lives.
It is. And animals.
Exactly.
You know, if people don't think that they have to eat a plant-based diet to be healthier, then they're just going to keep eating animals, and you know, we're not getting out of this horrible situation.
That's right, and continue to destroy the environment. You know, animal agriculture is one of the leading causes of climate change and environmental destruction and deforestation.
I just don't think that people realise how serious the situation is and what's at stake. You know, this kind of rubbish comes out and it's like...
As I said, I think the intention is quite... I believe it to be to create doubt. Just like the tobacco industry, they didn't need to claim that smoking was healthy. They just needed to create doubt around, you know, what could cause lung cancer, you know, other factors and what have you. So that people end up going, well, was it the cigarettes or was it something else? That's what they're trying to do here now, because meat is the new tobacco.
Yeah. All right. More on that one? That story?
That's it.
Okay, you're done.
Tag to you.
Chicken workers sue, saying they were modern-day slaves. 3 Oklahoma men?
Oklahoma men.
There you go.
Oklahoma men.
That's a mouthful, isn't it? Yeah. Filed a federal class action lawsuit alleging that they were modern-day slaves forced by a drug rehabilitation program to work for free in chicken processing plants. Wow.
So in a way, we've got the chicken slaves being farmed by human slaves.
Yeah, exactly.
So we've got double slavery.
It is. It's absolutely disgusting. So the investigation found that judges across the country, and we're obviously talking about America, have ordered defendants into rehab programs that doubled as work camps for for-profit companies. So not non-for-profit, for-profit companies. So this is the Christian Alcoholics and Addicts in Recovery organisation who was behind all of this, and basically put hundreds of men to work slaughtering chickens at processing plants. And the men worked for free. They were under constant threat of prison, and the products that they were the chickens that they were slaughtering were going to big name brands, including Popeyes and KFC and Rachel Ray's.
Nutrish pet food?
Yeah, I haven't heard of that one.
Nor have I, but
KFC
and Popeyes are huge.
Yeah, and the rehab program kept their wages. So it is kind of like slave labour, isn't it? And they were under threat, like they were told, if you don't turn up for work and slaughter these chickens,
you
face
jail
jail.
time.
That's
extortionate.
Wow. So apparently this situation violates the 13th Amendment, which is a ban on slave labour and involuntary servitude.
And anyone watching this who's not living a vegan lifestyle but finds this kind of article disturbing, the answer is to become vegan, because at the moment every non-vegan purchase you make is putting people in these conditions and keeping animals in those conditions as well. So you're paying to have people and animals exploited.
Yeah.
You know,
That's right. Now, interesting, one of the plaintiffs said he thought he was going to a rehab program, but instead he found himself hanging more than 60 live chickens a minute along the assembly line. And he was seriously injured in a chicken plant, but he was threatened with prison if he stopped working, according to the lawsuit. He eventually relapsed while in the program and was sent to prison after all. So here you have these people that have had, you know, drug and alcohol addiction. They're trying to get clean. They're trying to be in rehab and fix their life. And they're forced to slaughter animals. And this guy in particular relapsed.
Yeah.
You know, they're not helping these guys that do need help.
No.
It's awful. It's such exploitation.
It is. And this reminds me very much of two things. We made a video for Sarah Therese.
Yes.
It was one of our best videos that we're most proud of, where we talked about how, because Sarah Therese was saying, oh, you care so much about animals, non-human animals, as a vegan, but what about all of the human suffering? And we said, well, actually, people who choose a vegan lifestyle do so because they realise that that's also causing the least amount of exploitation of humans, because these slaughterhouse workers, as we've seen, they're subjected to the most horrific of working conditions, and they are exploited in ways similar to this. It also reminds me of Fast Food Nation, where they show that exploitation taking place in a film. And so we highly recommend watching both the Sarah Therese response video we made and also Fast Food Nation if you haven't seen it.
We'll link them all down below.
Yeah, because it goes into further detail.
It does. Well, in the movie Fast Food Nation, there's an accident on the production line, and this is exactly what's happened with so many of these men. And the article, explains that one of them had their hand crushed, and someone else had spinal damage because a metal door at the plant fell on his head. And they're working in really, really dangerous situations at an incredibly fast pace for very long hours. So you're fatigued, and I was reading, they said it just stunk. One guy said, send me to prison, I never want to go back there. It's just revolting. It's hell. You've got feces and urine and blood and it's the worst imaginable workplace you could. It's just awful.
It's hell on earth.
It is hell on earth, and it's so
human
dangerous.
animals and non-human animals. And you mentioned, there's poo and everything, feces everywhere. And not only is it, it's primarily, of course, from the animals, but it's also from the workers. They often have to, defecate in their work uniform because the production line is moving so fast, and they don't get any breaks, and it's just such exploitation across the board.
So, I want to follow that story to see how it turns out. I think it'll be very interesting. I think they were after, $5 million in compensation.
Yeah, which would be pocket money to some of these companies. That the chicken is being supplied to, like KFC and Popeyes.
Exactly. So, anyhow, are we ending on a good story note, or is that it?
We're not. No. Maybe we should have kept the Lewis Hamilton good story until the end.
Can we make up some news?
Let me think. See if there's any other.
Quick scan.
We started with the good news story, didn't we?
It kind of went downhill. Okay.
Oops. Sorry for that, guys. Sometimes, hey, it's a reflection of the world, isn't it?
It is. All right, I'm going to make something up.
Oh, you're going to make something up? Okay.
Okay.
This is going to be interesting.
I'm thinking, I don't know if it's going to come out of my mouth. Yeah, I really don't know. Hey, here's some good news. We're going to do a live stream cooking show next week.
Yes.
Do you agree? I haven't told you about that.
Yeah. We spoke about it last night. Yeah,
No.
yeah. You said, would you be all right making this?
Oh, I did too.
Yeah,
Okay.
Which I, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So we got.
Exciting.
We've got a new recipe. I've heard about it like a long time ago, but we've never tried it. So we're going to try something first time in a live stream.
It's going to be risky because if it's the first time we're trying it, it's a total experiment. It could completely...
I think it's going to be fine.
As we say in Australia, balls up.
Yeah. Well, we say something else, don't we?
Yeah. There's a few things we say in Australia.
Family friendly. So the good news is you can join us in the kitchen next week. We're going to advertise that live stream when we've set a date, and you can cook with us, and we can eat wonderful vegan food together, and everything's happy and wonderful. And that's my good news story.
Yay! Well done, mate. Good job.
Oh, I don't know, guys. That's the world we live in. It's crazy. You know, it's crazy. But the important thing is we just keep going one step at a time, one foot in front of the other.
Yeah.
And we keep persisting, putting pressure on industries by making different choices, voting with our dollar, standing up for what we believe in and saying this is not good enough and we want change.
Exactly.
So.
And it's that saying that, you know, yes, you know, each one of us may just be a drop in the ocean, but what is an ocean but a multitude of drops? So keep on powering on, guys. Thanks for watching.
Join the ocean of change.
Yeah, exactly.
The vegan ocean.
Yes, the vegan revolution. Let us know in the comments below what you thought about any of the stories that we've covered today. We would love to hear from you.
Yeah, and any updates on the stories in case anything's changed by the time you're watching this.
Exactly. Again, let us know what you ate. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already.
And make sure you ding that bell and check the box so you can be notified every time we upload a new video.
And remember until next time that going vegan is not the most we can do.
It's the least we can do. See you next episode.
Bye, guys. I needed more. I wasn't done. It's so yummy.
I put my hair up, it's too hot.
Bye, guys.
See ya.